Congratulations on the NBA record, Angel. Tell me about you guys. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about. She knows.
No, I don't, because I be setting NBA records too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right. So tell
Angel Reese has made the damn news again. And I'm telling you right now, Angel Reese had figured out a way to epically troll the WNBA and all of her haters. And I have to say, she's genius for it. She is. She know everybody don't like her. And she say little things to make sure she try to stay relevant, because we know it's slowly diminished, and Angel Reese will realize, damn, my hype going down. Let me do some foolish stuff or say something.
30 years, so I want all the smoke. All the smoke. So
who's the best player in the country?
To the media or me?
As you see it.
I feel like I'm the best player in the country.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me.
She's setting NBA records, too. I don't know what you talking about. Oh, my God, Angel. Look at Angel. Angel's got locked up by Cameron Brink, then fell on the floor and started crying, bro. Look, this.
Angel Reese just could not help herself. She had the basketball world's full attention for one night, for one genuinely impressive rebounding performance. And instead of just letting that moment breathe, she turned it into a headline about the NBA. Yes, the NBA, a league she has never played a single second in. That is not an exaggeration. That is exactly what came out of her mouth during a live post-game broadcast. And by the next morning, half of basketball social media was talking about it for reasons that had nothing to do with her actual rebounding numbers.
Hamby, but threw it away. First turnover for the Sparks. Reese answered. Offensive rebound, and Reese is going to pick up an offensive foul.
The matriarch of Me-Bounds was very angry last night, and who can blame her? It was another unbelievably bad performance from Angel Reese. Where are all those lonely men who were bombarding me last week on Twitter? Where are all those desperate wankers who were trying to convince me that Angel Reese descended from the heavens? Hey, asshole, did you see Angel Reese tonight? Wowzer! She's the best player in the league! My queen is better than...
And the timing could not have been more revealing either. This comment did not come out of nowhere, floating in a vacuum. It came during a stretch where Clark has completely dominated the WNBA conversation, where every highlight reel, every ratings report, and every sold-out road arena has her name attached to it. Reese is a good player having a strong statistical season, but she has not been the center of the basketball world's attention in months. So, when a golden opportunity landed in her lap, a legitimate record-breaking performance that could have kept the spotlight on her for at least a day or two, she found a way to make sure people were still talking about her, just maybe not for the reason she wanted.
Angel Reese, a new WNBA record for rebounds in a game, 26 rebounds in a game. Glad that's over. We sure spent a lot of time on that, didn't we? Let's get into the highlights, shall we? The Angel Reese highlights, that is. Again, I just said she had 26 rebounds. What more do you want me to do? Good job. Angel Reese went off tonight. 11 points, 4 for 4 from the field, 3 turnovers, almost as many turnovers as field goals made. Got blocked by Cam Brink 5 times. Again, 26 rebounds. What?
Let's give credit where credit is genuinely due first, because this part is not up for debate. Reese hauled in 26 rebounds that night against the Sparks, breaking Shameik Holdsclaw's single-game record of 24 that had stood since 2003. She also pushed past Aya Wilson's single-season rebounding mark, sitting at 458 boards for the year with games still left to play. That is a real, legitimate, record-setting performance, and nobody serious about basketball is trying to take that away from her. Rebounding has been the one part of her game that critics simply cannot argue with, night after night, season after season.
Congratulations on the NBA record, Angel. Tell me about you guys. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about. She knows.
No, I don't, because I be setting NBA records too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But then a reporter, clearly trying to give her a nice moment, brought up the NBA in a lighthearted way, comparing her rebounding pace to some historical NBA numbers. And instead of just laughing it off or saying something humble about focusing on her own league, Reese leaned into the mic and said it herself out loud on camera for everyone to hear. "No, I don't, because I be setting NBA records too." Read that again. She said she is setting NBA records in the WNBA while playing exclusively in the WNBA. The room reacted immediately, and so did the internet, because you simply cannot say something like that and expect it to just quietly disappear into the post-game notes.
Angel Reese just said that she sets NBA records, and it's not as crazy as it might sound. In her game yesterday, she broke the WNBA record for rebounds in a game with 26. While she had a bad shooting night, she nearly out-rebounded the Sparks by herself, grabbing 18 defensive and 8 offensive rebounds. So far in her career, she's actually in the upper echelon for many NBA and WNBA records. For example, she is second all-time in most double-doubles in the first 75 games in a career in the NBA or WNBA. In rebounds per 36 minutes, Angel Reese is third all-time NBA and WNBA behind Wilt and Bill Russell. Of course, her rebounds technically help that number, but you don't become an all-time rebounder just off of offensive rebounds. In Reese's career, she averages 7.9 defensive rebounds per game. And that 7.9 number would put her in the top 20 in NBA history, comparable to guys like Tim Duncan and Larry Bird. And even if these records are mainly rebound related, rebounds are still one of the most important parts of basketball. When you look at the stats, Angel Reese is one of the best rebounders in basketball history. So as crazy as this quote might sound, it's not actually far from.
Here is the problem with that statement, and it is not complicated. The NBA and the WNBA are two entirely separate leagues with separate record books, separate histories, and separate players who have spent decades building those numbers. Dennis Rodman averaged over 18 rebounds per game in some seasons, guarding some of the tallest, strongest athletes on the planet night after night across an 82-game grind. Wilt Chamberlain once pulled down 55 rebounds in a single game. Those are NBA records. Setting a WNBA single game and single season rebounding record is impressive on its own terms, and it did not need the NBA comparison attached to it to matter. Adding it in only made the achievement look smaller, not bigger, because now instead of talking about her actual accomplishment, everyone is talking about the weird comment tacked onto the end of it.
Reese moves inside on Brink, blocked by Brink. Reese got it back, turned, blocked again.
Travel. God, Angel Reese went from Atlanta to LA with the amount of traveling she just did. Holy smokes. And it wouldn't be an Angel Reese highlight if she's not falling on the floor, right? If she's not falling on the floor, it just wouldn't be right if she's not falling on the floor.
And this is where things get even more awkward, because that same exact game gave the internet a completely different storyline about Reese. One that had nothing to do with records and everything to do with her offense simply not showing up. In the first quarter, Reese drove into the paint trying to finish an easy look near the rim, and Cameron Brink, a player who is not exactly known as an offensive juggernaut herself, stayed in front of her, stayed disciplined, and blocked the shot clean. Reese came right back at her on the very next attempt, and Brink shut that one down too, without even needing to leave her feet the second time. 2 clean denials back-to-back against a player who's in the middle of announcing herself as an NBA-caliber rebounder in real time.
Last night, Angel Reese was shut down by that player. Blocked 5 times by Cameron Brink. If the WNBA was covered as honestly as other sports, real sports, if the WNBA was scrutinized like the NFL, the NBA, we would be talking about Cameron Brink as one of the biggest busts in the draft. 2 years ago, she was the 2nd overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. It was Caitlin Clark, then Cameron Brink. I don't think I need to explain who's had the better career. So far, Cam Brink has been a major disappointment, but last night was the highlight of her career. She completely dominated Angel Reese. As
fans did not let that moment slide quietly either. Clips of Brink locking her up spread across social media almost as fast as the NBA comment did, and the jokes wrote themselves. One fan posted that Reese got locked up by Cameron Brink, then fell to the floor, and the replies piled on from there. Another pointed out that Brink didn't even have to jump to block Angel Reese, calling it flat-out sad to watch. Somebody else zeroed in on the elbows Reese throws every time she drives, saying she fouls on basically every single attempt and gets away with it because of how physical her reputation already is. One comment cut the deepest of all, saying Reese has zero offense, and it's really sad how she continues to be celebrated for absolutely nothing at all. That is a brutal thing to read about a three-time All-Star, but it tells you exactly how the two halves of that night landed with fans. The rebounding record on one side, and a genuinely rough offensive sequence on the other.
Started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize.
None of this would sting as much if it were the first time Reese put her foot in her mouth with a bold, self-inflated claim. But it is not. Go back to her rookie season in 2024. When Caitlin Clark was breaking attendance records, selling out arenas across the country, and single-handedly moving television ratings numbers that the league had never seen before in its history. In the middle of all that, Reese decided to make it clear that she believed it was not just one person who changed the game of women's basketball. "It's because of me too," she said out loud, about a rookie season where she was clearly riding a massive wave that someone else had generated almost entirely on her own. Historians, she claimed, would look back at 2024 and prove her right. And this pattern goes back even further than her rookie year.
Who's the best player in the country?
To the media or me?
As you see it.
I feel like I'm the best player in the country.
Okay. Who's the second best player in the country?
Shit. Either Caitlin Clark or Leah Boston.
That's fair.
Top three. I feel like we the top three players.
And that's the thing I love. You spoke on that. You respect the hell out of Caitlin's game.
Hell yeah, I respect them. Yeah, for sure. Me and Caitlin been playing against each other since high school. We've been going at it. So it's no hard blood between me and her. She's a great competitor. She's a great player. We knew going into the game, she was going to score her 30. We knew that.
Yeah, facts.
It was about the other factors that we needed to make sure they wasn't getting theirs. So we knew it going to the game.
During her time at LSU, Reese was more than comfortable calling herself the best player in the country, out loud on camera, without much hesitation. That is a massive claim in a sport filled with generational college talents, and it raised eyebrows even then. But here is the part that makes it genuinely hard to defend. Some of those bold declarations came right around stretches where her own performances against real competition, including matchups against players like Cameron Brink back when Brink was still at Stanford, were not exactly dominant showings that backed up the label she was giving herself. Saying you're the best player in the country is one thing if the tape supports it every single night. Saying it while getting challenged in real time by the very players you are supposedly better than is a much tougher sell.
Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Fast forward to 2025, and reporters finally circled back to ask Reese if she still believed what she said about growing the WNBA. Her response said almost as much as the original comment did. She cut the reporter off before they could even finish the question and said, "Next question," refusing to engage with it at all. If you truly believe something and stand behind it, you usually do not run from the follow-up. Dodging the question entirely tells you she knew exactly how that original statement had aged, and she did not want to relitigate it on camera a second time.
Caitlin Clark has more career games with 30 points and 10 assists than all of the WNBA in the history of the league? Did you hear what I just said? I didn't say she had more 30-point, 10-assist games than Candace Parker or than Diana Taurasi or than Cynthia Cooper. The entire history of the league combined. And this is only her third season, and she's done it already. And she missed a lot of her last season with an injury. Caitlin Clark is the MVP, period. Not only is she the MVP, she's one of the best women's players we have ever seen. Yes, I said it. I'll say it on First Take. I'll say it on Pat McAfee. I'll say it on Nightcap with Shannon and Ocho. I'll say it on Dan Patrick. I'll say it on Colin Cowherd. And I've been watching women's basketball for a while. I was watching Teresa Witherspoon and Cynthia Cooper. Caitlin Clark is one of the best women's players we have ever seen. Period.
Now compare all of that noise to how Caitlin Clark has handled her own record-breaking run this season. After a win over Reese's own Atlanta Dream back in June, Clark was asked about the constant chatter and narratives swirling around her. And her response was almost the exact opposite of everything Reese has said over the last 2 years. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, but hopefully it makes a lot of people just be quiet, Clark said. I know there's always going to be conversation, and I totally respect that and I always understand that, but the sky is not falling. No claims about breaking records in a different sport. No declarations about single-handedly saving a league. Just a quiet confidence that lets the box score speak for itself game after game, while everyone else argues about her on television and social media. This is not even the first time Reese has been tangled up in an NBA comparison conversation, either. Back in 2025, fans online started jokingly comparing her game to LeBron James, and Reese herself laughed along with it at the time. There is a big difference, though, between playfully going along with a fan-made comparison and standing at a post-game podium yourself, unprompted, claiming you are personally setting records in a league you have never stepped foot on the court in. One is a joke everybody is in on together. The other is a genuine claim made with a straight face in a serious interview setting about a completely different league.